Welcome back to the First of the Worst podcast. I'm Brendan Murphy,
And I am Steve Horrendous.
and it is late in the evening as we record this here in the
yeah.
Central Standard Time Zone, but it's early in the evening in the West Coast, so it's 5 o'clock somewhere, as they like to say.
Somewhere in the ocean.
I don't know that it's usually in this context, but we'll use it.
Late night game for us this week.
Late night game for us, but we will try and deliver with our usual Midwestern Central Standard Time fervor.
Yeah. Well, we're
didn't make a
standard.
ton of sense.
Are we in daylight? I think we're in daylight savings time.
I thought it was always standard time.
No, it changes depending on the time. It's CST or CDT.
So we're in.
I have no clue, dude.
I gotta think we'd be in this. I gotta think we'd be in ST now because there's less daylight.
Yeah, I think so. For a person who considers himself decently intelligent, time zones just fuck my brain up, man. I've missed so many meetings. Like I've been had meetings come to me early and things. I don't know. I always screw it up.
Well, now that you work for a company that's in one place, that probably does make it a little easier.
It's a lot easier.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier. Yeah. All right.
You can't use time zones as an excuse if you're late now.
Yeah, unless it's like a meeting with somebody like out of the office. But yeah, I don't think it's an issue. Yeah, last one where my boss is basically in California. You feel like I want to figure that one out eventually, but
well, it is. I'm not positive, but I think this will be our last recording of 2016.
we might record in 2016, have something come out in 2017.
Yeah,
I don't know. It'll be borderline.
I guess that this will be the last one that we will have set in the year 2016.
Yeah.
We might future date our next recording.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah. So what we're going to talk about then is last year we did a bunch of stuff kind of year end, and it was a lot. This year, I think we're kind of simplifying to an extent. What did you say, Brendan?
I frankly feel less qualified to do year-end lists this year than I was last year for whatever reason. I just consumed less of everything.
I did too. Yeah.
So busier with work and things like that. So I couldn't tell you like 10 albums that came out this year.
Yeah, I couldn't piece together 10 albums. I couldn't. Yeah. So basically, we're just gonna do our 10 favorite things of the year.
And it works well with this year because it was such a shitty year.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Lots of deaths, obviously Trump.
Yeah, all kinds of garbage.
I mean, there was an Olympics.
Yeah, that's garbage enough as it is.
That's garbage.
So I basically we're leaving this pretty open. As long as it was something I liked a lot and something at least pseudo relatable. So like stuff about my kid, like my kids aren't on this list because you can't have the you don't know, people don't know them. You know what I mean? Like
I'm with you. Yeah. I mean, and that's that's easier for you because you're selfless, but I'm self-absorbed as shit. So naturally, I want the number one thing to be I started a comedy show and I have a girlfriend who has sex with me sometimes. Those would be my top things. But that's not relatable.
I'm the only registered sex haver on this podcast.
I said sometimes.
Because I have kids that can prove it.
Yeah. I have no tangible proof of that.
I can prove. Sadly, I have two kids that somehow only prove I've had sex once.
Yeah, you're right. You got ripped off.
So that's where we're at. So let's just get into it. We'll see where we go with this. It could be all over the board. I have probably more TV shows than anything else because I don't go to movies anymore.
I actually don't have a single TV show on here.
This is gonna be all over the place. Then we'll see.
I mean, it was wide open. That was the point of it, right?
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, it occurred to me that I would want to say something about Game of Thrones, but I just didn't have.
Don't worry, I'll bring it up.
Yeah, I just didn't have like the frame of reference off top of mind.
It's just because it was a long time ago.
Yeah, you're right. It'll be back before we know it. I didn't have the frame of reference top of mind, and I didn't do much research. I feel like this is just this research is just I lived it.
Yeah, my whole thing, I didn't look up anything to make this list. So
okay. Number 10 for me is Billy Bush goes away. I always thought that guy was annoying. And now he's probably gone for quite a while.
Favorite things of the whole year is that Billy Bush is going away.
Yeah, I guess I really hated Billy Bush.
Don't get me wrong, I think it's a positive.
It's a net positive. Well, I don't know that there's that many net positives. I mean, I don't like a lot of things that don't matter to me because I'm not an adult. Like interest rates are really low right now, but that doesn't matter to me. Billy Bush going away affects my day to day.
Does it? Like, did you watch, like, you were like watching Access Hollywood? You're like, God damn it, Billy Bush. If only he wasn't.
Well, now, okay, first of all, Access Hollywood is on TV constantly. It's almost impossible to miss. And now
Is
when
that the
it's
show
on,
he was the host of? Or was it Extra?
I think it was Access Hollywood.
Well, he's involved with the Today Show, too, I think.
He was. That was kind of like his mainstreaming, if you will.
Yeah, he was trying to go more to mainstream.
Also, if I didn't hate the guy enough, I didn't realize he was actually a Bush.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Well, yeah, I didn't realize that till this scandal came out and people were saying that. I was like, you're an idiot. He's not like that close. Like,
but he's like, there's definitely
he and George, they're cousins. I mean,
Yeah.
so you know your cousins. Some of them you're
Yeah.
probably pretty friendly with.
Yeah, I got two, I got three.
My number 10 was Billy Bush going away.
my number 10, as I tend to do, I jumbled one up, and I called it the highlights, the best things my shitty sports teams I root for did this year. And get ready for the saddest list of sports highlights of your team.
Okay, so we have a sub list already. So Steve is getting a little complicated.
It's the University of Illinois hired Lovie Smith to be their head coach.
What's his record this year?
He won 3 games.
Games.
The White Sox traded their best pitcher in the history of their franchise. Yeah, that's a highlight.
Was he statistically the best pitcher in the history of the franchise?
I mean, there might be some guy from when guys couldn't
like Burley's longevity.
I mean that's just an argument of longevity over peak, right?
Yeah.
I mean, which is a fine argument to have, but you could go either way on that.
But the White Sox did get like the highest return.
Ever. That's why I said it's a highlight, man. It's a highlight.
Oh, the highlight should be the Eaton trade.
Yeah, both.
They got as much for Eaton as they got for.
It's just the White Sox fire sale, and then the Bulls Summer League championship. That's just how you put up banners.
That was a great game.
That was a great exhibition basketball game. Brendan unplugged his microphone. He was so excited about the Bulls Summer League championship that he unplugged his microphone, and it's still muted for some reason. He has to unmute himself, and I think he unmuted himself, but I still can't hear him talk. This is fascinating. So this is like, I don't know what this is comparable to. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, I feel like we've waited this out before. And this always happens when we unplug our mics, doesn't it? It's like a disaster when one of us unplugs a mic. Hello? I'm just trying to like mute and unmute things. I'm going to mute you and then unmute you. Mute Brendan Murphy. I muted Brendan Murphy. Now I'm going to unmute Brendan Murphy. If I know how to do that. I don't think I know how to do that. Apparently I can't unmute you because... Oh, now I unmuted you. But I can't hear you talk. Can you check your mics in the settings? To see if when you unplugged it. No, man. Do you have the right mic in the settings? Fuck. This has happened before. Unplugging these microphones during this thing is a friggin' disaster for some reason. Can you plug in can you switch to you're wearing Apple you're wearing like iPhone headphones, right? Can you switch to that mic? I got nothing, man. You can't even unplug your microphone and You unplugged your mic. This has happened to us before. You unplug the mic and everything goes to shit. I've done it. We've both done it before. I don't. It probably was just loose or something and fell out. Yeah, I thought we fixed it in the past too. What are your headphones plugged into your mic or into your computer? Oh, fuck. Okay. Yo. I don't know why the fuck this thing's not picking up. Yeah, so settings, still on the ATR USB. I can see built-in microphone, but that's not working either. What if you leave this and come back? Because I don't know. I mean, I could restart everything, but then it makes it harder for like. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, but I can do it. That's why I'd prefer to if you can like leave and come back in, because then I can just. It's pretty easy for me to just cut, you know, just to cut like a section out. But it gets a little. Yeah. Yeah. I'll do that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm still live. It's just me. Hopefully somebody starts watching. It was the Cubs one. People kept thinking we were like an illegal stream of the Cubs World Series, I think. I should have named this one like Panthers Redskins stream. Yeah, sure. I'll try. It just did. I can hear you.
Hello, you can hear me?
Yeah. It was a little crazy because I was hearing you from both ways at once.
All right, you still with me?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to move to the table because why fuck with this twice? You know, I clearly need a stationary mic. I can't handle the handheld capabilities of this machine. Okay, well, that's not that big a deal. Just to cool it out. Like,
it's not hard. I just literally just like click two things and like the stream and cut it out.
All right. So did we have a good, do you remember at all where we left this?
Yeah, I think we're good. I'll do my number 9.
Okay. What was your number 10?
It was the shitty sports highlights of the year. Okay. All right. And, my number 9, it's going to be a weird one, but it's something that's been, come back into my life after a long, long time. And it's, a TV show, and it is, I mean, maybe now that it's on HBO, you could call it prestige TV show, and that's Sesame Street.
Okay. That's kind of weird that you be that enthusiastic about it. But I guess you got to embrace this part of your life.
Yeah. And it's like sneaky entertaining sometimes.
I mean, the kids' stuff can be. I watched the Jungle Book live action movie this weekend. I was with my nephews. It was pretty entertaining. You had Bill Murray's Blue the Bear. And then in the greatest ever, the greatest kind of casting move ever, well, just when you just consider this as vocals, King Louis was played by Christopher Walken. And it was just tremendous.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. There's some annoying shit on Sesame Street. But it's as kids' TV shows go.
So didn't it kind of go from the proletariat working class PBS to the bougie HBO?
Well, yeah, sure. But you can still have all the old ones are on there. And as far as I can tell, the only real difference is it's a half hour now.
Was it an hour formerly?
Yeah.
Well, and I think that they are putting them on PBS after.
They are. I think it's a 6-month lag before they like hand them over. So like they get the HBO money or whatever and all that. And now it's great, you know, because it's all on like HBO Go.
Good for you as a parent. So
there's like a million of them out there.
Are you going to 30 seasons are on HBO Go?
I don't know if it's all 30. I think it's like since maybe like 2004. And then there's like no, so it's like each season through 2004, and then there's like another folder you can click on. This is classics, and it's like specific like classic episodes.
Sounds like good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that.
Let me ask you a separate HBO question. I'm sure this won't be our only HBO conversation.
No.
Would you cancel just go HBO Now? Is that something you're considering doing?
Cancel what?
HBO traditional, whatever they call it, HBO. But and just do the HBO Now, which is like their Netflix.
It's the same price.
It is the same price. I thought HBO Now was like $10.99.
Oh, is it? Well, yeah, I mean, I'm under a deal right now with my DirecTV, but that runs out in a couple months, and I'll look. I'll look. I don't really care. I mean, so maybe anybody who listens who has HBO Now, how does that affect like watching like Game of Thrones, like when Game of Thrones comes out, or do I have to like watch it?
I will speak to it on HBO Go. It is horseshit, and the stream is pinwheels for about 2 hours. You got to wait till midnight to watch it.
Oh, so I'm just like a trash second-class citizen that has to watch my...
And it's brutal. And then when you trick the HBO Twitter account, they troll all the HBO Go stealing people. Be like, if you paid for HBO and you have the regular network, please turn it on. Sorry about the delays, HBO Go.
Love it. I wonder, though, HBO Now, theoretically, you're paying for, though.
So that's an interesting nuance to this whole debate.
Yeah, if anybody has HBO Now that's listening to this, let me know if you could watch shows live. Now it might not be, and we have
our request line is open, so you can call in and join us.
It might be tough. I wonder like if it's hard to compare, right? It's hard to compare if you're like watching an episode of like Insecure when it airs compared to like the first episode of Game of Thrones of the season. You know what I mean?
Game of Thrones got to be even Westworld probably doesn't compare.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, there's a difference probably in the amount of people trying to stream that at once. So I don't know, like, yeah. So anybody who maybe had it for last season of Game of Thrones, let me know. So what is your number 9?
My number 9 is that there was no teacher strike in Chicago.
God, you have such a serious list. Yeah.
Well, it was going to be a goddamn catastrophe.
What made this different from every other teacher strike / not teacher strike?
I mean, not that much good stuff happened this year.
Chicago's teachers union does like every 4.5 months.
First of all, don't take sides. Both sides have their greed and poor leadership. We are a straight line down the middle here. Got a lot of teachers, my Facebook friends. Not a lot of people working in the mayor's office.
Teacher, my mother-in-law is a principal.
All right. Secondly, I don't know. It just seemed like it was going to happen. It was a huge upset.
Yeah,
it was I'm definitely going to happen. And I woke up in the morning like, yeah, strike's over. Didn't even happen.
That
was kind of a nice piece of news.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. I mean, you want kids to be able to go to school, right? Yeah. That's a good thing. I just don't understand why that union's always on strike or wanting to be on strike. I understand the city of Chicago has a lot of fucked up shit going on with their schools too, though. So I'm sure it's a double-edged sword, or both sides, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. Honestly, originally I changed that as we were doing this list because I had that there's no Olympics in 2017 on there too. But then I thought I kind of used that joke in our open, so I wanted to change it up. So I really had to think of something on the fly.
That's not a positive about 2016. That's a best of 27. That's for next year's list.
So there was an Olympics this year, which means there isn't an Olympics next year. That's what my takeaway.
All right. What's your number 8?
My number 8. I guess I just kind of shoehorned 2 in there. Classic. Oh, this one's personal. I discovered Chance the Rapper, who's pretty fucking good.
Look at you. Though I'll talk about him later. We can talk about him now.
That is personal for me. I mean, but people seem to like him. So
yeah. What did you just like the new album, or did you like listen to the new album?
I've only heard the new album because
and then listen to the older ones.
And we know that he hates record labels, and that's the only one that's on Spotify.
Yeah, you could just download SoundCloud if you want to listen to him. It's like
I probably should do that.
And you can listen to like whatever, or just like the Donnie Trumpet album, which is essentially just like his too.
Okay, those are some tips. See, I'm still learning about Chance the Rapper.
No, it was awesome. I mean, Coloring Book was my number 4. I don't. That was the current album. It was great. It was a good summer album. I felt like
it had that song "Summer Friends."
Summer Friends, which is it's a sad song though.
Yeah, it wasn't really about hookups until like the 3rd verse.
Each verse was like a different thing, right? But like, yeah the 3rd one was about.
Like, the first one was just like everyone's getting shot, and you're like, ooh.
Oh, like kids can't play in the streets anymore in the summer like I used to. Yeah. I was
like, oh, that's rough.
But it's a good song.
And Bon Iver is on it, right? Or is it Francis and the Lights, who just sounds the exact same as Bon Iver?
They're all the same. They all look the same to me.
Probably are the same person. Those are both made up names. Let's be real.
Bon Iver, where is he from?
Somewhere
in Wisconsin, right?
Eclair? Does that sound?
That sounds right. That sounds right. Yeah, no, Chance, that's good. That's good. That's good fun music. Yeah, it was my number 4.
Was my number 8.
It was a jam. It came out of nowhere. I didn't see it coming.
Was it a surprise album?
I don't know if it was actually a surprise album. I feel like he's been working on it for a while. I just think it was one of those. That's like the new thing they all do. Like a lot of the hip hop people, they just like drop them. Like they don't. There's no like release dates anymore for like hip hop.
Well, it's not like people buy records anymore anyway. So what does it matter? It's not like you do a big press tour and put a bunch of posters. Everyone's gonna go to Sam Goody and buy your CD.
Tuesday, I like Tuesday, Super Tuesday or whatever they used to call them. Oh man, they used to come out Tuesdays, right?
Tuesdays was CDs, and Wednesdays was like to video movies, and then Friday theatrical releases.
There's a place called Record City, I think, and they used to say it was always like 15% off on Tuesdays too. So like you'd go there and it would be like you'd get them cheap.
Yeah, but not really, not cheap like now when you get them free.
That's true.
Now it's really cheap, $9 a month for every song ever.
And then you could order like Best Buy.
Except
would be like
mixtapes.
Best Buy would be dirt cheap,
like $12. But that was a huge steal on Counting Crows August and everything after.
All right, so that was your number 8, Discovering Chance. I like it.
My number 8.
All right, my number 8 was Westworld, which I know you actually kind of don't like.
You know, I was talking about the ending with someone and I fell asleep during it, and I must say a huge plot point in the ending. Like pretty much the biggest part of the whole ending I didn't even know happened. So I probably need to rewatch it if I want to have like a serious discussion about
a real opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, it was pretty good. But I think we've talked about this before, and my contact's popping out right now, so it's a really interesting time for me to be talking.
Well, you just had every technical difficulty possible.
This podcast, for those a little behind the scenes, everything that couldn't go wrong is going wrong with this podcast. Yeah,
Steve's face is falling off. I mean, that's where we're at.
Contact live.
Okay, so I can do the play-by-play. Steve's left ear is in my view. Oh, it's gone. I have nothing but neck.
No, I'm right here, guys. I'm right here. This is exhilarating, I'm sure.
This might be edited out, but we'll see how this turns out. Maybe there will be a laugh line.
I'm putting the contact in my mouth, which is.
I didn't know that was a thing people did. This is actually terrifying. Steve's eyes are huge right now.
Oh, it didn't work. I found some water.
Okay. I hope
So-
you're not going to drink that.
Oh, I'll drink it. I'm using the screen as my.
Yeah, I mean, you have to.
My monitor is probably terrifying, Brendan.
Yeah, I've looked into this. I've looked deep into the heart of darkness now. Did you get it?
I'm back. I can see.
We're back.
I can see. I might have to edit that out too. If not,
that is a prime candidate for an edit. It just ended up kind of long winded.
Yeah, I know. Because I dropped it. That was the issue there. All right. So yeah, was we were on Westworld?
Westworld, and then do you have another one?
Yeah, my number 7. So this is, I'm gonna go a little weird. I guess I'm gonna list a different podcast as one of my 10 favorite things of the year. And it's number 7 is the Pardon My Take podcast.
Oh, Barstool's podcast?
Yeah, they have a few, and I've listened to some of the other ones, and they're not that good. But this is with, who is it? Big Cat and PFT Commenter. That's their names. And it is actually somehow somebody has managed to make a funny sports podcast.
You know, I would comment on this, but I'm on record as not listening to podcasts, including our own.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't listen to our own. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think people listen to their own podcast.
50 people listen to this every week, and I have never been one of them.
And then, but no, it's great. They've managed to make a funny sports podcast, which seems like making sports funny isn't the easiest thing to do.
Well, a lot of people who can do it in text can't seem to do it with their words when they talk them.
Yeah, that makes sense. And one of my favorite things is every Monday morning after a football weekend, they do a parody of the Chris Berman's old NFL primetime.
Rumbling,
fastest
stumbling, fumbling.
Oh yeah, but
bumbling.
It's amazing. It's an amazing. It's just going.
Honestly, I am kind of interested.
But yeah, I just give it a listen one day. Remember, these guys are like these two guys are like in character, basically, for this whole podcast. It's 3 times a week. It's crazy. All right, so that's it. What's your number 7?
My number 7 is all the regrettable Pokemon tattoos people in their 20s got that they are going to want to laser off within maybe already happening.
But don't you think these people already loved Pokemon? This is like them getting Pokemon tattoos is like somebody my age getting like a Mario tattoo or like a Link tattoo.
Yeah, well, that person's an idiot too.
Well, I mean, now we're just having a tattoo argument.
Yes and no. I mean, I think that there are some things that could be worth a tattoo. Pokemon. I also think there's a difference between visible tattoos and hidden tattoos.
I'm pretty fine with tattoos, and I would never have one. But,
okay,
maybe
I mean, if you don't have it now, you're probably not going to have it.
Yeah, I mean,
like
I never.
The age where you would ponder a tattoo has come and gone for me as well.
Oh, come on! Don't we have like a midlife crisis somewhere in us? Where,
okay,
like,
so I have always had this little stipulation with my friends, and I doubt they'd follow it, but I probably would. If Missouri ever made a Final Four, or Notre Dame won a national championship, I would get the logo of the team to do it on my ass.
Oh man, I'm glad I didn't promise that one. Or I'd have an eye on my ass at some point.
Next to the eye in your ass. Anyway, that was low hanging fruit. So that is the Pokemon Go thing was ridiculous. I didn't want to sit here and be like, you guys are losers because I have read thousands of mock drafts in my life, and that's pretty dorky too. So I can't sit here and call them losers, but I can say it was kind of annoying.
There was some annoyance for sure. The park by my house is like I wonder if it will still be a hotbed.
So like when people were getting mugged over it, I was like, as long as no one really gets hurt, it's kind of funny.
Like what is their phone stolen, right?
Yeah, or maybe their wallet, or maybe they got punched in the face. Maybe that happened all at the same
time. I think the only
time
people got hurt were people who like got in car accidents.
And then you hope, yeah, I mean, as long as it was a 1-car accident, you're kind of like,
Yeah. So what is your number 6?
My number 6 is Feeling the burn. Now, I realize that this is probably controversial because some would say he cost Hillary Clinton the election, which is pretty accurate. But I think that Bernie Sanders was a unique candidate who spoke to a lot of economic inequalities that neither candidate was talking about. And the only reason this is this low on the list is because, well, he probably cost Hillary Clinton the election. And then we ended up with the most pro-business, economically lopsided candidate of all time. So,
as much as I wasn't a super Bernie bro, I don't know if I even agree that he cost her the election. I think
you could make a case that Gary Johnson probably cost the election more than.
Well, I don't actually
Bernie.
agree with that because I think a lot of Gary Johnson votes are actually people who would have voted for Trump.
You think?
Yeah.
Who would have voted for a Republican but not Trump?
Yeah.
That's probably what it is.
It was the Gary Johnson people were people who wanted to still say they voted.
Yeah, I mean,
rather than not voting. I don't think Bernie necessarily cost her the election. I just think, I think there were other issues there. I think there were some stubborn people who really liked Bernie and then took their ball and went home. And I don't think that,
but that's cost the election.
But I don't think that's Bernie's fault.
Bernie did it, but
it's not Bernie's fault that
Bernie fucking got in line.
Bernie did not. Yeah, Bernie didn't tell them to take their ball.
Bernie told them to vote for Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, so I don't put it on Bernie. I put it on some people who are 22 years old who don't know how politics work yet.
On this very podcast said I might not vote for Hillary, and I changed my mind.
You changed your tune
in like 4 days.
You changed your tune
because I realized the gravity of the situation, and now I'm really realizing it. But
the problem was younger people who hadn't. I feel like people who hadn't voted that much. I don't know. That's just. I think everybody goes through that when you're voting and you're like 21, 22.
Louis C.K. has a bit about you don't always get to do your favorite thing.
No.
You don't always get to pick your favorite thing or something else. I mean,
that's
you have to make practical choices. If everyone got to do their favorite thing, everyone would drive a BMW.
Yeah, well, I told that to everybody when they were talking about this election, and like when people were like, "Oh, these neither of them are. I don't want to vote for either of them." I'm like, "Well, grow up."
Well, that's most of the time. By the
way,
grow
up. You're not a 3-year-old that cries. You shouldn't be a 3-year-old that cries when they don't get everything they exactly want.
In our life of elections, Obama's the only guy that I wanted from the outset. That I voted for. Yeah. That's how it works.
Hey, be happy when you get to do that.
Yeah, that's a miracle.
that's I don't know. I don't like to dwell on that too much.
Well, it's just I mean, every week could be the last versus the worst podcast in Donald Trump's America. I don't want to
so many reasons. Like, who knows what he'll do to the internet? We have to like pay like $100 a day to like log on to Google or something.
I read an article that Google's hiring all these conservative lobbyists because they didn't have any, basically. And now that Donald Trump's controlling all the tax policy, they're like, oh shit.
Well, yeah, we'll see if he screws up like net neutrality stuff, which would be a disaster. But and just end up costing people a lot of money and forcing people to certain websites because they're cheaper. Because they're owned by the companies. So my number 6 is it's a sports one.
Okay.
Actually. And I think you might not have thought of this. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. It's just that nice Western Conference Finals through the NBA Finals run of the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say about that is that the finals itself, the games individually weren't as good as you'd want them to be. It did go 7 games though.
It was good. I enjoyed. I know what you're saying.
There were some good games, but like there have been better finals.
Multiple guys get kicked in the nuts by the same guy during that stretch.
Speaking of people who cost something good, the election. I mean, that's not Draymond Green cost them the fucking title with his bullshit, and now I'm just burnt out on Draymond.
Oh, he's just it's
like there's no denying that you would trade him if you had to trade one of those guys.
Of the 4?
Of the 4.
I would trade him if I had to trade one of those guys.
I think most people would agree on
I think some people would probably trade Clay, but
I mean, it's going to come down to those two for sure. But like Klay Thompson has scored 40 points in a quarter on more than one occasion in his career. That's fucking insane to me.
Yeah. You just got to keep that guy around just for entertainment value. They'll probably do that a couple more times.
He would have scored at least 80. In that
Yeah, I don't know.
where what did he have? 65? What was it?
I'm pissed they pulled it. They pulled him.
They did that with Kobe, and then the next time that happened, they
Kobe was like, "Fuck this, I'm staying
and
in."
and he stayed in. He scored a one.
Yeah. The
Clay's gonna do that like 2 or 3 times a year. So
yeah, there was.
it'll happen at some point over the winter. It happened in the fall.
Yeah, you just want to be hopefully you're by a TV and somebody like texts you or you see it on Twitter so you can like turn it on and watch a guy just like never think and just like throw balls in the hoops from anywhere he's standing.
It's way better than Curry is when he's hot. It's just another level.
It's different, right? Because he doesn't really dribble. He just like catches the ball and shoots instantly, no matter where he is.
See, when guys are doing stuff like that, and I always wonder, why don't you just totally just literally make someone else beat you, double team him off the ball, and leave Andrew Bogut open under the basket, and just make them throw it to him.
Just like at some point, like just somebody punch him in the fucking face. Like I don't know what else you're gonna do.
Not the same sport, but Mizzou was playing Auburn in the SEC title game like 3 years ago, and Auburn ran for 500 yards. At one point,
I remember that game.
Can we just stop covering receivers and just see what happens? Like maybe they'll fuck it up.
Trey Mason was involved in that, right?
Yeah, Trey Mason. And now Trey lost soul.
Yeah, he's lost.
Nowhere to be found.
Lost his mind or something, right? Yeah. So then my number 5, we're going back to the TV show front. Atlanta.
I haven't watched it, but I feel like I should.
Yeah, I think you'd like it. I don't know if you'd have it as high ranked as me. Just because I don't know, it's all about like Atlanta and like hip hop culture, I guess. But
I'm in on Chance, so who knows?
Yeah, and Donald Glover, he's more in that vein than
he's definitely more Chance the Rapper than 2 Chainz.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean is it 2 Chainz cameo on that show? No, I don't think so. But no, it's an entertaining show, and they clearly gave people creative freedom, which you can tell when that gets handed to a show.
I gotta say, FX
seems to do that. They let people do what they want to do. They hire people they think are good, and they let them do what they want to do, and they can succeed or fail, which I think is a great strategy to have.
I mean, I would like to look at what FX has done the last 5-10 years. They've probably had as many hits as any of the other cable networks.
Well, hit loosely.
Okay, so some of those shows are dog shit, like Sons of Anarchy.
Well, no, see, there's both sides of that, I guess, because like nobody watches The Americans. Like nobody watches.
It's honestly very overrated, in my opinion.
I kind of agree. I stopped watching.
It definitely is past its best years.
I stopped watching it. People love it. Like reviewers love it. I don't know.
I think that it will be looked back on as like a really good original premise that was executed well for like 16 episodes.
Yeah, maybe. That's probably about how far I watched it.
That's how cable network shows tend to go, and Showtime does that too. Like they just beat it into the ground. They'll do 5 more seasons of The Americans.
Yeah. What's that? Shameless.
Oh my God. Showtime's track record of just beating, and they're doing another season. Beating shows into the ground is impressive.
Dexter,
Weeds.
Oh, Weeds! Like I thought was over like 3 times.
Weeds, they reset the show.
Weeds, yeah. I thought Weeds didn't. I feel like Weeds had 3 series finales.
That sounds right.
And they're like, nope, we're coming back again. Nope, we're coming back again. But the first few seasons that were really good.
It was you could get a long way off an original concept.
Yeah, it was like the first few seasons that were really good, and then it's just like, okay, where are we going here?
But I would guess Atlanta is more in the vein of like a Louis, that like there's no continuity necessarily, and you can kind of do.
There's a loose like overall story, but like some episodes barely even reference it.
So it's so.
You know what I mean?
I think it's better for your creativity and easier to keep like a high caliber product going when you have that kind of.
Where they can have a whole episode that has nothing to do with the overall story of the show, because they can just go off and like, we're going to do this.
That's what the HBO shows do.
This episode's just going to be a date at a restaurant. We're just going to be at this restaurant the whole time. You're like, and that's what's going to be.
I mean, if you look at Master of None, that's kind of what that was too. I thought that was a really good show. I don't know if it's this year or last year. I think it's probably last year. But that was a good show, and that's the same thing. There's no real.
Yeah, that was last year. That was kind of I guess that would be a good comp. I mean, obviously, there's just one's in like New York City, and one is in Atlanta, and you know what I mean, like
But
slightly
they're clearly a vehicle for like this one kind of star actor type guy.
star actor writer who's just kind of doing everything. Like, yeah, exactly. But like I said, but in Atlanta, I think there's 2 episodes that he's not even in.
Yeah, that would not happen on Master of None.
There's 2 episodes that he's in. One episode, you hear his voice say one line, and another one, I don't think he's even involved with.
That's cool.
Or maybe, yeah, they just follow other characters. Okay. So that was on my number 5. What is? I guess we're on your number 5 then, right?
We are on my number 5, which is some people would say that this was a bad thing, but I'm looking at it a different way, and that is that a toddler was not murdered by a gorilla in Cincinnati.
So
that gorilla instead was killed.
You're pro gorilla murder.
I'm not saying I'm pro gorilla murder. I mean, obviously, there's some bad parenting if that kid gets in a gorilla's cage.
Yeah, I mean, Harambe died for our sins. But you're right. It's a very good thing that kid didn't get killed.
So I think that's one of the better news stories of the year, that the kid lived.
Let's
do it another way. If that was a crocodile instead of a gorilla, no one would give a fuck.
No. We're in a heavy spin zone, and yeah, like your crocodile argument here. Nobody cares if that's a crocodile.
No one cares for some reason, because it kind of looks like a person. We're like, eh.
What if it was a dog?
Oh my God, they might have just let the kid die.
You can't kill a dog. It's the worst thing you could do.
Oh, in film, like the murder of one dog equals 2 scenes of genocide.
Like we should have. So like how the Russians hacked this election, we should have realized that was going on. And we should have, like, somebody should have been like, yo, we need to somehow create a video of Donald Trump killing a dog. Like, we just need to do that. It has to look so real. And we need to get our best people on this, and that's it. It's over.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the flaw in this Democratic strategy. Because maybe we can do that in the next 4 years.
What if I run for president and just everybody who's up against me just manages to have a dog murder video come out?
A dog snuff film?
Like every person I have along the way, just like I get elected because that guy killed a dog.
All right. Well, there were like 19 Republican candidates. At least one of them has killed a dog.
Oh, 100%.
I'm going with Ted Cruz.
Why do you think he killed it?
He's just kind of the most sociopathic of all. No.
But like, what do you think his reason? Like, did he do it because like the dog pissed him off?
It was a stray dog. Here's what happened. It was a stray dog who was looking for food and handouts, and he realized that dog is a taker, not a giver.
Okay.
Not a producer. And that's how he feels about takers. That dog was the equivalent of a welfare mother. So he couldn't shoot the welfare mother, so he shot the dog. It's a pretty solid narrative.
Okay, I buy it. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is all the OJ stuff.
Oh yeah, you're a big OJ guy. So
we actually did a podcast about OJ.
Yeah, we have an OJ renaissance this year. Yeah,
it was a huge year of OJ, and I'm kind of wondering, for as big an OJ year as it was, how did he not even do an interview?
You can interview guys in prison, right?
Yeah,
Charles Manson interviews.
Yeah, I mean, he could at least be on the phone.
Maybe he didn't want to be?
I'm guessing that's what it is. Another thing that came out this year about OJ that is totally believable in retrospect is that he had CTE.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was definitely behaving like a crazy person.
And he also, I feel like, wore the smallest helmet ever. No, not actually small because his head was so big, but like there was no padding.
There was no face mask on it either.
Yeah, man.
I'm not saying I forgive the guy for his sin.
No. But
it does kind of explain how he went pretty crazy after he played. Because the whole narrative was like, this guy was so lovable and fun-loving, and all of a sudden he was just beating everyone's ass.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he wouldn't have CTE, basically. He was a running back who played for a while.
Yeah.
Like, there's just no way he wouldn't have had
Who was like super physical.
Yeah,
it makes sense that Eric Dickerson doesn't have it. My dad always calls him a pussy because he ran out of bounds. Turns out he was like pretty smart.
He was ahead of his time. All right. My number 4, we kind of already talked about it. It was Coloring Book. It was the Chance album. That was great. It was a great summer. It was a great summer album. It came out like on a sunny day too, I feel like. And it was good listening. There was some good singles and stuff on it too. Like you said, Summer Friends. I actually like Summer Friends, and was it All Night? That's kind of like the dance jam kind of towards the end.
Is that the one with Biebs?
No, that's like the roller. I don't know what the name of that song is. It's about a roller rink. But yeah, no, but it's a good album. And then my number 3, which was something I was kind of late on but it was still from this year. I just watched it later in the year, and it was because I didn't think I would like it. And it was Stranger Things.
I haven't watched it yet, but Ashley watched it without me. It's kind of the most unfaithful thing she's done in the history of our relationship. I don't think she'll ever cheat on me, but she basically did already.
We should make a sequel to the movie Unfaithful, but it's just Ashley watching Stranger Things without you, but like sneaking off
and eating all my favorite snacks while she does it.
Yeah,
like Smart Food popcorn, and I'll wake up and see 2 kernels. Is that white cheddar?
Yeah, Unfaithful too. It'll be great. It'll just
so I'm Richard Gere then.
Yeah, and
Netflix is that foreign guy. So in the end of the movie, am I just bludgeoning Netflix to death with a rock?
Yes, I think that's what it is. I don't know how we do that physically.
Like maybe I break in and just bludgeon their server.
Yeah, I was like, maybe you hack their server and drop the website. Unfaithful too. I don't know it has to be Unfaithful 2 with a colon, and then
digital deception. I'm good at alliteration. It's one of my most useless skills.
But no, Stranger Things. It was awesome. I watched it in 2 days, which is not something I normally do. Binge. I know people do that regularly nowadays, but for me to watch 8 hours of TV in 2 days of the same show is pretty impressive.
I don't even know that I want to admit this on this podcast because it's official government record, but Ashley and I binge watched a network TV show last week. Network drama.
Well, I've done that too. But
it's called This Is Us.
Oh, dude, I've watched like 4 episodes of that.
Okay, it's pretty good.
It's on our DVR, and it's.
Did you watch the pilot?
Yeah, I watched the pilot.
The pilot's pretty good. It's actually one of the better pilots I've seen in network drama.
This is one of those. It's Parenthood too. Electric Boogaloo. Parenthood too.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean, I understand that show's gonna get bad too.
For those who don't know, this is just one of those shows that just like intentionally is trying really hard to make you cry.
And is batting like pretty good average on it.
It hasn't got me yet. It got Jess like 3 times in the first episode.
Well, especially because they have multiples.
Yeah. They almost got me in the first episode. That's the only time they almost got me. But it was like, because they try so hard, like every episode, it's like if they would have like built up to that over like a season and I was invested, it would have got me. You know what I mean? But like there's like boom, boom, boom. Like you got to slow down. I've only cried at like maybe 2 TV shows ever.
I got some weird cries. Parks and Rec when he proposed.
Oh yeah, let's talk about our TV cries, not movie cries. A much rarer TV cry. I feel like
I just started bawling. And the same thing happened on The Office when Michael came back for the wedding. It was a surprise, and I love some sitcom love.
So mine are different. I may have cried when Hodor died.
That was rough. That's one of the worst things to happen in 2016.
And
that actually is probably worse than Trump getting elected.
And like the flashbacks, he was a kid, you learned why, and it was like all like at once. I'm like, oh man. And then I cried when Tim Riggins took the fall and went to jail for his brother, so he could raise
shitty ass brother.
Yeah, just a shitball of a brother. Just went to jail for his brother so his brother could be a dad.
Yeah, that was shit. That was terrible.
But yeah, it was brutal. So that's it. So then are we on your number 3?
We are. This guy has not like been. It's not that he's been out of the game, but he hasn't been visible. Dave Chappelle is back. He's going to do 3 specials next year. He hosted SNL, national tours. I'm excited to see him back in the spotlight.
Yeah, I mean that's a good. I didn't think of that, but yes, he was really good on SNL, which is really all I've seen.
In like a very important episode of SNL.
Yes, that could have been handled. It could have been bad if it was like, I don't know, just some jamoke.
I mean, okay, so what did you think of the Hillary Hallelujah? I actually was really drunk and crying during that.
You cried during that? I didn't like it.
I understand why people didn't like it. It just hit me. For the first minute and a half,
my wife loved it. I was just like, this isn't.
It's unnecessary that she's in the Hillary costume. I don't know. That Kate McKinnon is their star player, though. She is terrific.
She's their best star player in a while, I think. I mean,
she's terrific.
Because who was their last star? Was it Kristen Wiig?
Yeah, I mean,
and I think she's better than Kristen Wiig. Not that I think Kristen Wiig's bad. I'm just
Kristen Wiig has proven to be very talented as a writer. In her post SNL career, she's done some good movies.
Okay.
I just say Bridesmaids, maybe. So we don't know if Kate McKinnon has been like gonna come up with these great screenplays and
Bridesmaids
movies. But as an SNL, Bridesmaids is slightly overrated. But
it's not a bad movie. It came out over like, this is the greatest movie ever. But, like, so it was one of the things where
comedies. Comedies. You should watch them 10 years later and then tell me how good they are.
Yeah, or sometimes like you'll just enjoy a bad comedy because nobody ever told you about it because it'll like sneak up on you and you'll be like,
the formulaic comedy is great. Like I will watch Horrible Bosses 2 as soon as it's on HBO, and I will enjoy it for an hour and 45
because you don't have any high expectations of it.
No, and there'll be some funny parts. There'll be like some cleavage. It'll be I will not have to think critically for 1 second.
Yeah,
and sometimes that's what you want.
Give me 90 minutes to like chuckle and not think. I'm not going to go to the theater to see that, but I'll watch it when it's on TV.
Oh, there are a lot of movies that I see. I'm like, come on HBO, or if it's on HBO or Netflix, I'll totally watch it. Right now, there is that comedy with Tina Fey and Amy Poehler called Sisters.
Oh, I'm sure I haven't seen that, but yeah, that's probably
it's on HBO, and I'm like, gonna watch it.
I watched that Amy Schumer one and like that, and I was like, I thought it was gonna suck, and it was like, oh,
I saw that in the theaters. It was like 45 minutes too long.
Well, it's a Judd Apatow movie, right? So you have to bake that in.
You're right. There's like, he's trying to get all. There's always the coming of age plot line in it now.
Yeah, no.
The redemption just takes too long.
You remember This Is 40?
Yeah.
That movie was like 8 hours long.
Also, not really a comedy.
No, it wasn't a comedy. There was like weird musical performances in it.
Which you
probably loved.
There was Ryan Adams and Graham Parsons. Yeah, I mean, I was into it.
But I was just like, you don't need to like show this performance in like this movie. Like, I don't know. It's weird. All right. So are we on my number 2?
No, we are on my number 2.
Okay, that was your number 3. Okay.
Which is Uber discounts in 2016. I had a lot of them.
What? How's
I had 50% off of my Ubers for 6 straight weeks, and they did these discounts across the city.
How is that? Why?
I just loved it. It was okay.
No,
so maybe
but like, how did you get them? They just gave them to everybody.
They just kept sending them to me. In there, so for like all of September and October, I got 50% off my Ubers up to $20.
That's pretty good.
That was probably the best thing that happened to me, honestly. I mean,
that's amazing. No, yeah, I don't know. You might have underrated that.
It was great. You didn't even have to put in a discount code. They just gave it to you. And then here's the rub. Here's why it's not number 1, is they just took it away. They didn't tell you why it was there, and they didn't tell you why it was gone. Last week, I got an email from Uber. 25% off my rides, up to $10. And I felt like I was getting a shell of the man I once welcomed into my home.
Why are you getting these discounts? Why don't I get these discounts?
I'm shocked you're not getting them because you probably don't use Uber anymore.
I do. I used it this weekend.
Infrequently, though. Probably not as much as you once did.
To be fair, I actually use it more. I never used it really when I lived in Chicago.
Okay, well, I took cabs
because I'm a man, and I'm a man of the city, and not a child.
You know what? A man requires much more responsibility than Uber. Cab drivers are board navigators. Ubers are
they're licensed by the city, by the government.
They're professional drivers.
And even when I took an Uber in Chicago, I was Uber taxi.
That old product. That's like talking about listening to your music on a gramophone.
Listen,
don't date yourself.
I feel like it's weird. I still feel weird getting into just some dude's car.
It's just become
I do
reality.
it here all the time because that's what the only way to do it. Really, I'm not calling a cab taxi to come pick me up.
And 35 minutes later, it may or may not show up.
Yeah, so I just Uber. But yeah, I don't know. I always just felt like it was easier to get a cab. Like I would just walk
Uber
outside.
is usually cheaper. It depends on, obviously their pricing is a dynamic.
Yeah.
So Uber is usually cheaper, and it depends where you are. You did live at an intersection that was pretty busy when you were here.
Yeah, it was just like you walk outside, there's a cab. That's easier than me calling and then like opening my app, looking, and then going outside when it's there.
All things
being
like one more step. Cabs are like 25 to 30% more expensive.
See, I didn't really see that.
Well, that's if there's no surge.
Yeah, maybe that's the case. Probably you don't use Lyft. Are you huge Uber over Lyft?
I am, because Lyft their software their program never tells me how much it's going to cost. Uber will price it, so you just
Uber just like says it now, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't say the surge anymore.
It doesn't say the surge anymore. You have to be like kind of there's a way to tell, but you have to like go through a bunch of hoops.
But it tells you the price.
So that's fine. I mean, I guess I would like to know the surge for comparison's sake, but
yeah, because like I know like my general like Madison trip like to downtown or whatever, and I saw it and it was like, oh, this is like 2 times, but I was like, this is a snowstorm, so I'm just gonna take this, like to get home. Like, nobody's probably driving. Really, is probably what the issue is, because nobody wants to drive in this crap.
It was the salad days. Uber will never be better than this 6 to 8 week stretch of my life. I was taking them to work. I was getting cocky with it.
Oh man, you're taking them to work?
I only lived a mile and a half away. I was kind of in an in-between zone anyway, so the Ubers were okay. Like I would take a train.
But didn't you kind of feel like, were you like wasting your discounted trips?
You got up to 10 per week.
Oh shit. Yeah, this was really just like you were getting fat on Uber.
It was crazy. I can't believe they're still around.
Were these like robot cars? Was there no driver?
Real drivers, although I did read that they're doing the robot cars in California, but they haven't been approved by the government.
They've been doing them in Pittsburgh for a while, right?
Have they?
Yeah,
they always pilot stuff in cities you wouldn't expect them to.
In Pittsburgh, and there's drivers sitting in them though.
That sounds like a terrifying job. Doesn't it?
Well, I mean, you get the Uber as your ride.
I don't know.
Apparently, I just read something about how Pittsburgh has like the city is mapped in a good way to try it. It has a lot of different things that they're going to need to overcome. And like,
so, would you take a driverless Uber?
Yeah.
Because it would just be the norm. It'll just be like how it was weird to get into some guy's car, which you haven't gotten over, but you will someday. Or maybe you'll never get over, but you'll just skip that.
Oh, so do you do Uber share? Because that's fucking sociopath shit.
I do it. I do Uber pool.
Oh, you're a fucking crazy person, dude.
You're way less likely to get killed in a pool than just a regular Uber.
Oh, I don't even care about getting killed. I'd probably want to get killed if I was in an Uber pool.
Have you ever done it?
It's like a mini bus.
It's whatever it wants to be. Yeah, it's a mini bus, but it's heated and faster.
But like I'm sitting right next to these people on a bus. I have to like crawl over them and like scoot next to them.
Yeah, sometimes you just sit in the front and there's not a lot of legroom. It sucks.
Oh my God. See, now you're just like taking
I think the world is passing you by, Steve.
No. I'm just waiting for the good stuff to come. Which is nobody in my car except me and it driving itself.
Right now it's gonna be like nobody in your car except you. Isn't that every morning and every evening?
No, but I'd be like cabs. My car will just swing by and pick me up, drop me off.
You won't even have a car. It'll be a car, but not
It'll
your
just be
car.
like a random car that picks me up and takes me where I want to go. And then I can like have a beer while I'm just sitting in this car, facing backwards, reclined, taking a nap, having a beer at the same time and sleeping.
It'll be like, you see this new Polaris thing that United's doing? Looks pretty sweet.
Oh,
Mattresses in business class.
oh yeah, there's planes that have all kinds of crap like that.
I know, but I feel like it must be twice as expensive. And
Oh, it's for sure. Yeah, don't even look at that shit. They're also, but is it United the one that's doing like the tier below coach?
what?
Yeah,
This is just called peasants.
it's like economy or something, and like, there's like it's like at the back of the plane. You get on last. You have to pay to carry on.
They're just making a third of the plane in Spirit Airlines.
Yeah, and then so the trick they're doing it so then when you search, their rate will come up as the cheapest.
You know, I booked an American to New Orleans and it was $40 one way.
That's pretty good.
I upgraded because it was so cheap.
You're like, I'm not paying you enough money.
So maybe it's the same logic of what you just said.
Yeah, and though the other thing with the economy seat is you can't reserve your specific seat.
Well, that freaks people out. I've never understood why people get so freaked out about not having a specific seat. But that, for some people,
if you go with multiple people, and if you're like going with your kids, it's like just like a non-starter.
You're right.
Right. Or something, because you can't just like have like your like 3-year-old kid like sitting like on the other side of the plane. That'd be a disaster for everybody involved.
It's a 747. The odds are there's like 4 pedophiles on that plane.
Oh man, yeah,
Just based on human odds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like every single one. All right, are we on my number 2?
We're on your number 2, yes.
I'm just going Game of Thrones, man. It's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. I feel like, but I'm still like every Sunday I'm fucking dialed in.
A few things bring me as much joy as that show.
Yeah, like it is a little out of sight, out of mind right now, and I don't think it's coming back until a little later because they film later because they needed it to be more winter for filming. I heard like filming, everything's gonna be pushed back like a month or 2.
So they're usually about a March debut, right?
I think it might be a summer show this year.
What?
I don't know.
I mean, I'll watch it regardless, but summer is kind of brutal. I'm gonna look this up.
I don't know. I know it's been pushed because they needed, or at least their reasoning was it's probably only gonna be 7 or 8 episodes, right? Because aren't they splitting these last 2 seasons or like right?
Yes, that's a half season. It's the old Sopranos move.
But it's like more than a half season. Yes, Sopranos invented that, right?
Yeah, and then Mad Men did it. Okay, filming won't even wrap till February.
Yeah, they needed it to be winter for a lot of the filming. Makes it easier for their.
I mean, April would be like an early.
Yeah, that seems aggressive.
You know what, dude? It usually does debut in April because it's always going on during the NBA Finals.
Yeah, you're right.
So we're looking at like a May debut, probably.
Yep, it is always going on during NBA playoffs. That's that SB Nation. Is it SB Nation or Bleacher Report always does that like video thing every year where it's like Game of Thrones like cartoon with the NBA when they're like or whatever they call it, Game of Zones. But yes, that's what
people are softening on LeBron, and I am too. But I need like an adversarial LeBron playoffs for me to hate him the way I should be hating him. Can we discuss this for a second?
Oh yeah, we can talk about this. Yeah, so it was weird because I actually really don't like the Warriors either.
Well, now with Durant, if you hated the Heat, you kind of have to hate the Warriors on principle, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, I turned on Durant instantly, and I've always been a Westbrook guy, so like this makes it easier.
Yeah, but now Westbrook is just going to be a really good regular season player who you see for like 6 games in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, it sucks.
Yeah, it's just him and Harden. They'll go neck and neck for MVP, and they'll play.
Is there anyone who can play each other? That would be amazing
in the playoffs.
It's like we'll just get everybody else off the court.
But do these guys deserve the MVP when there's like no earthly chance that they're going to win a title? How are they most valuable if that's the case?
how is Kevin Durant most valuable if the team he was on made it to 7 games in the finals without him and set the record for, you know what I mean? Like,
it should probably be LeBron every year. Like it probably should have been Jordan every year.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, that's what it should be.
So
That's what it should.
It's just, I mean, and that's a world that I don't want to live in. So let's just make up the rules as we go along and just deprive LeBron of trophies he's earned.
Yeah, I don't know how I don't know. He needs to, like, he's just a cheese ball, right? Like, LeBron's a cheese ball. He's a cornball.
He will always be someone who cares too much about other people's opinions. And it's the reason I can never get behind him, because that's how I am. I'm insecure because I'm fat.
But then he does, like,
didn't want to have sex with me for a long time, and things that were not true about LeBron's life.
And then he's always, like, doing, like, whatever, like the current internet meme is, like, let's do a mannequin challenge.
He is. Or Everett Carter's telling him to do that. And this is why I could still kind of like Kevin Durant, is because he hates that kind of shit and always has.
Yeah, you're right. No, I agree.
And when he went to the Warriors, it really was because they had the best chance to win, not because he got to play with his best friends and make movies or whatever the fuck LeBron wanted to do. Like, I don't think that Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry were like going out to dinner and shit, plotting all of this for years.
No.
Now, he robbed us of a potentially great rivalry in the West, and I think Oklahoma City probably would have won the title this year.
They could have won it last year.
So that sucks. Yeah, they blew it.
Yeah.
So that sucks. I loved the Oladipo trade. I just thought that Oladipo fitting with Durant and Westbrook would have been perfect.
Yeah. And it seems like Serge Ibaka sucks now.
Yeah, it kind of was evident the last couple of years. His numbers were declining. He was like 7 rebounds a game last year. Anyway, I can't wait for the fucking playoffs. So,
all right. So we got our number ones left, right?
Our number ones are left.
Yeah. Mine's it's the Kanye album.
I don't even know. Life of Pablo, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so are you so impressed I knew that or no?
No, I think everybody knows that.
All right, well, good for Kanye. I mean,
it was awesome.
Peak of his crazy right now.
Oh,
he's Kanye's ever been.
He's lost his mind. He's nuts. I'm a little worried for him. He's like at that crazy point where, like, when celebrities get that crazy that anything can happen. Right?
Why is he so crazy? Is he on drugs?
I think he's on, like, psychiatric drugs. And maybe if those mix wrong, maybe with other things. I don't know.
Like, he's on, like, lithium and shit like that.
I think so.
Emotional distress.
I think that all started when his mom died, because he blamed himself for his mom dying. Because she died because of plastic surgery that he paid for.
I remember that. That was long.
Right. I feel like that's when he started to go crazy.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about the Kanye album. I mean, it's going to put the Kardashians canceled as one of the best things this year. But it isn't.
It's never actually canceled. It's always, like, partially canceled, right? Until things square up. Right?
After
like
that whole fake rock, which was pretty brutal.
Yeah, what's going on? I don't know. I weirdly don't follow the whole Kardashian thing. Not that it's weird, but considering I know everything about Kanye, you'd think I would
follow it via, like, Twitter and the pop culture blogs I read that are mostly sports centric.
That just, like, yeah, they pop up on there.
I can't act like an authority on it either.
All right, what's your number one?
You can guess my number one.
Can I? I don't know if I know. I don't think I do.
I don't. I mean, this is probably not something that I've not suffered for this, like most people have. But the Cubs won the World Series. It was pretty cool.
Oh my god!
So, what is worse to you?
What?
The Cubs winning the World Series. Oh, come on! Do the right thing, Steve.
Trump.
Yes.
I guess. But, like, didn't the Cubs winning the World Series have something to do with that?
I kind of feel like it did, and I think a lot of people could have waited 4 more years. They could have waited till Mitt Romney was running for president again and just let that happen.
Yeah. No, I mean, hopefully, in retrospect, the Cubs winning the World Series will be the worst thing. Hopefully, Trump just can't really do anything, and in 4 years, there's a new president.
I think the best case scenario for him is he's just George W. Bush, because he was pretty. He was pretty incompetent, and the world didn't explode.
The economy.
It kind of did, but
that has a lot to do with economies tanking aren't because of one president. It can accelerate it.
If there's someone that seems like they could really tank the economy.
Yeah, no, I agree. I 100% agree.
We also acknowledge that maybe like he actually is a genius. Maybe there's some shit will happen and we'll just all be so rich again.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. And God, I hope it's true, but there's no way. It's true.
Crazy like a fox.
There's no way it's true. There's no way it's true. And the only reason we're going to be rich again is because the two of us are white men.
Yeah. I mean, but now we are, I don't know. We're kind of like middle class people, and those are the people that are really getting fucked.
Yeah,
it's not a white black thing. It's just the middle class is getting squeezed out, right? I'm not sitting here saying we're working in factories, but like, if you're not rich, you're getting fucked, and it's gonna be harder to get rich. Steve's making faces. You're just pondering all this.
I know people tell me this all the time, but I kind of don't buy it.
Well, I hope we both prove it wrong.
Well, I'm not. First off, I don't want any of this to sound like I think there's anything good about Trump being president, because there isn't.
Well, taxes will be lower.
Yeah, I mean
that's true.
That isn't necessarily good.
I mean, we might pay for it in other ways. Our money might be on fire, but we'll have to pay less of it to the government.
Also, he can't lower the taxes.
Yeah, but there's a Republican Congress, so like,
yeah, he can get it lowered.
This is happening.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's just not. I'm more worried about like the world in general. And like having Trump, like, it's not that just like we're the only country acting like this. It's kind of happening everywhere. Like, it's been happening over Europe for like a while, for like the last 10 years or so.
Yeah.
And it's not like good that everybody, not that we personally are, like me and you, but like that all these countries are like voting these like nationalist type insular people into power, and like whether they're becoming the presidents or like into their senates and stuff. And that seems like a fast track to wars eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much of the grandstanding is actual truth. Like, how much of the actual like economic and spy wars that we're fighting with Russia and China are actually?
It's not just Russia and China, though.
Okay. So there's 2 points you made. There's 2 points about foreign policy. One is just like this crazy dictator.
And when we were all like
running,
everybody was like, when the economy is more shared, you can like have problems maybe with that, but it forces people not to be in wars because their economies are tied together.
So that's its own concern. But the second concern is just Trump handling like our arch enemies, which are these very delicate situations that he could really seemingly fuck up. So,
that's great.
This is why 2016 sucked.
Yeah.
So this is a good way to end this podcast, because this is what was horrible about this year. The day that this guy was elected president, I did not want to get out of bed because then I felt like I made it official. Well,
today is the day we're recording, right?
The electors, well, you know what? They did what they were supposed to do. You agree with that, right?
I do not.
You thought they should have voted for someone else?
I think the electors exist for the sole reason of this.
That's a coup, man. They got to represent the will of the people.
They don't. They exist for the sole reason of this. Don't have them if they can't do it.
Well, okay, don't have them. I agree. Don't have them. Let's have election where the person gets most votes wins.
Well, but that would make us a democracy, but we're not.
Even Putin says that.
We're not. We're a republic. That's the structure of our government. We call ourselves a democracy because we're idiots, but that's not what it is.
I think the electors had to vote for Trump. It pains me to say it's not who I want to be president, but the guy was elected president by the rules in play.
Well, he wasn't until today.
Well, it's been a good year here on First to the Worst. Thank you all for sticking with us, and we will be back in 2017 with hopefully more uplifting.
Hopefully, our next one is if it is what we think it's going to be, it'll be much more frivolous than this.
Yeah. Those lists, I mean, the last time we did this list, it was a ton of fun. It was longer than Ben-Hur, the recording, but the list itself was a ton of fun.
Not as long as this recording, but there's going to be a lot cut out of this one.
This is a long recording, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. Subscribe to us on iTunes and Facebook and everything, and we'll talk to you later. Bye. All right.